Thunder wielder, protector of realms. Thor, the Norse god of thunder, is revered as the protector of humanity and the mightiest among the Aesir gods. He embodies strength, courage, and unwavering justice. Born from Odin, the Allfather, and Yor, the earth goddess, Thor is more than a storm deity. He is a defender of Midgard, the realm of humans, constantly battling the chaotic forces of giants that threaten the balance of the 9 realms. Thor is best known for wielding Mjolnir, a hammer forged by dwarves and imbued with magical properties. Mjolnir is not only a symbol of destruction but also of protection and sanctity. It could summon lightning, return when thrown, and even bless marriages and births in ancient rituals. Only those deemed truly worthy can lift it, and Thor is its eternal master. He rides a chariot pulled by 2 enchanted goats, Tangrisnir, and thundering across the sky in storms. His fiery red beard, immense stature, and booming voice make him instantly recognizable in Norse poetry and lore. Though fierce in battle, Thor is also portrayed as loyal to his kin and protective of mortals. Unlike his father Odin, who is associated with wisdom and foresight, Thor acts with instinct and heart. He is often quick to anger, but also quick to forgive. This duality makes him a deeply relatable figure, not only to ancient warriors but to modern audiences. Throughout this video, we will uncover the many layers of Thor's mythology. We will explore his origins, divine relationships, legendary battles, and the artifacts that surround him. We will also examine his role in Ragnarok, the foretold end of the world, and how he continues to influence popular culture today. This journey through myth and meaning will reveal why Thor remains one of the most iconic and beloved figures in all of mythology. His thunder still echoes not just in the sky, but in the hearts of those who admire valor and justice. The origins of Thor, bloodline of power. Thor was born from a lineage that shaped the destiny of gods and men. His father, Odin, is the king of the Aesir and the seeker of ultimate knowledge. His mother, Yor, is a personification of the earth, grounding Thor in both divine and natural realms. This union of sky and soil birthed a being who would embody elemental force and protective strength. From the beginning, Thor was unlike other gods. He grew into a towering figure with immense power, known for his unmatched physical might and a heart inclined toward justice. Though Odin was often absorbed in his own quests for wisdom, Thor became the frontline defender of Asgard and Midgard. While Odin planned and sacrificed, Thor acted and fought. Thor was raised among the Aesir in Asgard, where he quickly earned respect for his bravery and ferocity in battle. Despite his temper, he was admired for his courage and for never backing down from any challenge, especially against the Jotnar, the giants who symbolize chaos and destruction in Norse cosmology. His relationship with his half-brother Loki was complex. Loki, a shapeshifter and trickster, often caused trouble that Thor had to resolve. Yet, their bond endured through countless adventures. Thor's wife, Sif, a goddess associated with fertility in the earth, added balance to his stormy nature. Together they had children, including Modi and Magni, who inherited aspects of their father's strength and boldness. Unlike many other mythological figures, Thor's power was not based on strategy or manipulation, but on his physical and moral integrity. He did not seek the throne or manipulate others for gain. Instead, he focused on action, confronting evil, protecting the weak, and upholding honor. His simple but firm sense of duty made him the ideal hero in Norse culture, which valued loyalty, strength, and a willingness to face death without fear. Thor's upbringing shaped him into more than a god of thunder. He became a symbol of resilience and order, standing as a wall between the known world and the forces of darkness that constantly threatened it. In the next chapter, we will dive deep into Thor's legendary weapon Mjolnir, the hammer that defines his legacy. Mjolnir, the hammer of thunder. Mjolnir is not just a weapon, it is the very core of Thor's power and mythology. Forged by the dwarven brothers Sindri and Brokkr in the heart of Svartalfheim, Mjolnir is one of the most iconic artifacts in Norse legend. Its name means grinder or crusher, and its destructive capability is unmatched. But Mjolnir was also a sacred tool, used in blessings, oaths, and protection rituals. It represented both death and life, war and peace. The story of Mjolnir's creation begins with Loki's mischief. After cutting off the golden hair of Sif, Thor's wife, Loki was forced to make amends. He journeyed to the realm of the dwarves to commission new gifts for the gods. Among these was Though Loki tried to sabotage the forging by distracting the blacksmiths, the hammer was completed though with a shortened handle due to the interference. Despite this flaw, Mjolnir became a symbol of divine strength. It was said to return to Thor's hand no matter how far he threw it. When wielded, it could summon storms, lightning, and thunder. Only Thor, and those deemed worthy, could lift it. This concept of worthiness would echo in later adaptations, especially in modern popular culture. Thor wore a magical belt, Midgard, which doubled his strength, and iron gloves, cord that allowed him to grip Mjolnir firmly. Together, these items elevated Thor to an unstoppable force in battle, feared by all giants and respected even by the gods. It was the ultimate extension of Thor's role, a destroyer of threats, but also a guardian of peace. Mjolnir was more than a battlefield tool. In Norse tradition, it was used in hallowing rituals, blessing marriages, births, and even funerals. Its power was believed to protect the community and drive away evil spirits. People would wear miniature Mjolnirs as amulets, much like Christians' war crosses, as a sign of protection and devotion. The duality of Mjolnir, capable of ending life, but also preserving it, made it one of the most sacred objects in Norse culture. In the next chapter, we will explore Thor's greatest enemies, the giant sand, the eternal war between order and chaos. The eternal struggle, Thor and the giants. In the Norse cosmos, chaos and order are in constant tension. Thor stands as the primary force against the Jotnar, or giants, magic, and a deep connection to nature. Some are even related to the gods by blood, including Loki, who is However, many Jotnar threaten the cosmic order and must be confronted. Ancient beings that represent wildness, disorder, and destruction. One of the most famous is his duel with Ragnarok, a stone-headed giant whose arrogance led to a challenge against the gods. Thor struck him down with a single blow from Mjolnir, though a shard of stone remained lodged in Thor's head afterward. This battle exemplified Thor's role as a protector willing to suffer for the safety of others. The battles between Thor and these colossal foes are not just physical. They are symbolic of the never-ending fight to preserve the balance of existence. The Jotnar come from Jotunheim, a realm separate from Asgard and Midgard. These beings are not mindless monsters. They possess intelligence. Thor's encounters with giants are numerous and legendary. In the Norse cosmos, chaos and order are in constant tension. Thor stands as the primary force against the Jotnar, or giants, ancient beings that represent wildness, disorder, and destruction. The battles between Thor and these colossal foes are not just physical. They are symbolic of the never-ending fight to preserve the balance of existence. The Jotnar come from Jotunheim, a realm separate from Asgard and Midgard. These beings are not mindless monsters. They possess intelligence, magic, and a deep connection to nature. Some are even related to the gods by blood, including Loki, who is However, many Jotnar threaten the cosmic order and must be confronted. Thor's encounters with giants are numerous and legendary. One of the most famous is his duel with Ragnarok, a stone-headed giant whose arrogance led to a challenge against the gods. Thor struck him down with a single blow from Mjolnir, though a shard of stone remained lodged in Thor's head afterward. This battle exemplified Thor's role as a protector willing to suffer for the safety of others. Ragnarok, Thor's final battle and legacy. Ragnarok, the prophesied end of the world in Norse mythology, is a moment of reckoning for all gods, and for Thor. It marks his most significant and tragic battle. Unlike apocalyptic tales, meant to instill fear, Ragnarok represents a necessary transformational rebirth through destruction. It is in this cataclysm that Thor meets his greatest enemy and fulfills his ultimate purpose. Thor finally defeats the serpent with a devastating strike from Mjolnir. However, he takes only 9 steps before succumbing to the serpent's venom. His death is not in vain, is the cost of preserving the world until its rebirth. Thor's role in Ragnarok is critical. As the giants and monsters rise to overthrow the gods, Thor takes his place on the battlefield without hesitation. His enemy is Jormungandr, the Midgard serpent, a colossal beast so vast, it encircles the world. This creature, born of Loki and a giantess, is the embodiment of chaos and poison. The final clash between Thor and Jormungandr is violent and world-shaking. The battle rages across the land and sea. Thor's sacrifice is one of the most honorable in Norse myth. He doesn't flee from fate or seek to alter it. Instead, he faces death with bravery, knowing that protecting the world, even in its last moments, is worth any price. His sons, Modi and Magni, survive the apocalypse and inherit Mjolnir, ensuring that his legacy lives on in the new world that rises from the ashes. What makes Thor's end so profound is not only the heroism of his final act, but the message it conveys. Even the mightiest cannot escape fate, but they can choose how they meet it. Thor is not remembered for invincibility, but for his unwavering will. He became more than a god, he became a legend. Thor dies as he lived facing the storm, protecting others, and standing firm against darkness. This tale of sacrifice and endurance inspired generations of Norse warriors, and remains a symbol of courage and resilience. In the next and final chapter, we will examine Thor's enduring presence in modern times, and how his myth has evolved across cultures and media. Thor in the modern world. Mythology. Thor's legacy did not vanish with the fading of Viking temples or the rise of new religions. Instead, his image transformed, carried forward through folklore, literature, and eventually, global pop culture. The thunder god became more than a figure of ancient belief. He became a modern icon whose story resonates across time. In Scandinavian countries, Thor remained a cultural symbol for centuries. His name lives on in the weekday Thursday, derived from Thor's Day. Farmers and sailors invoked his name for protection well into the Christian era. His hammer, Mjolnir, was worn as a pendant, re-emerging in the 19th century as a symbol of Norse heritage and identity. In literature, Thor appeared in medieval texts like the prose Edda and poetic Edda, preserving the core of his myth. In the 20th century, interest in Norse mythology surged. Writers and historians revisited these stories, while artists reimagined Thor with new interpretations, sometimes as a romantic hero, sometimes as a god of war. Then came the leap into modern media. In 1962, Marvel Comics introduced a version of Thor that would reshape global perceptions. His presence in contemporary culture speaks to something deeper, a longing for strength, with compassion, for heroes who fight, not for dominance, but to protect. Whether seen in comic books, movies, or tattoos, Thor represents endurance, sacrifice, and justice. This Thor, though loosely based on Norse myths, became a superhero still wielding Mjolnir, still tied to Asgard. They explore Thor as a complex figure, one who can be violent and kind, prideful and selfless. His contradictions are what make him timeless. He is not perfect, but he is unwavering, but now a protector of Earth in a new narrative universe. With the launch of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Thor reached millions. Played by Chris Hemsworth, he became a household name, blending mythic grandeur with relatable humanity. However, the modern Thor is not just a fantasy. At the same time, scholars and creators continue to revisit the original myths. Thor's thunder still echoes, not only in the sagas of old, but in every retelling that asks what it means to be strong, loyal, and brave in the face of inevitable trials.